Hello, and once again, we are live. So, welcome if you're listening to us on the podcast, Modern Mystery School, or if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, today, I have been doing interviews with people that have attended Healers Academy. And Grace, I cannot wait to hear your story because your background, you're like from the corporate lawyer background. So, how on earth did you end up in Healers Academy with the Modern Mystery School? And then, can you tell us what the real inside story is on your experience?
Sure. Thank you, Kate. Lovely to speak to everyone. Well, I had the live activation in 2019, and it really changed everything for me. A lot of things started to happen. I started to see things from a different perspective, and a lot of opportunities opened up for me. I've always been a person of many interests and hobbies. I like to do different things, try different things. But somewhere along the line, I thought that if I had a corporate career, that was all I could do. I didn't have the imagination necessarily to realize that I could also do everything else on top of having a career. So after I had the live activation, suddenly I realized that I didn't have to be defined as just one thing. I could do many different things. I could make candles, I could work with animals, I could also work a corporate job. I could also write. And because the live activation opened up opened up a possibilities for me, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna see what this path is about. I want to see what's next. And my lovely guide Tamaya, she recommended for me to do Empower Thyself. I did that, learned a whole bunch of very cool rituals, did them every day, and I saw things started to take shape even more, and now I live a life where I could do all of these different things and still have a permanent part-time legal career, which is fantastic, works perfect for me. And then I thought, what got me started on this journey was the life activation. So I really wanted to learn how to do it so that I could serve other people in the same way that it has served me. And so yes, that's what's brought me to Healers Academy.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So tell us, can you, coming from that maybe more logical mindset, I don't, and then going into Healers Academy, did you find it difficult or easy, or what was the energy like, or did you not feel anything? Can you give us a bit of insight on how you experienced it?
Healers wasn't easy, I have to say, for me personally. I felt a lot of resistance going into it. Deep down in my meditation, sanctuary meditation, I already knew that I was meant to do it, but I just, as you say, the logical brain, it started questioning, what is this about? 5 days is a really long time. What if it's horrible? But I went, I showed up for it, and the energy was quite overwhelming. It really held up a mirror to me of all the things that I needed to heal. I was so outward looking, wanting to, serve other people, but I couldn't really because I didn't serve myself. And I think a large part of my resistance was because I didn't really want to go there. I had a lot of traumas from, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, childhood traumas that I kind of didn't really want to deal with. I just didn't want to think about it. It wasn't, I was so logical, so in the mind that I just forced myself not to think about it. If I didn't think about it, it didn't happen. It's good. But it wasn't, right? It really wasn't. And so when I showed up at Healers, there's something about the energy that sort of showed to me, you have all these things, you need to acknowledge it before you can release it. Acknowledge it and then let it go. It doesn't define me. A large part of why I was running away from those traumas was because along the way, I think it became something that I thought was part of me, but it's not. It's not. I can let it go. I'm not. The experience is does not make me. I'm so much more than that. And so the 5 days at Healers, I started confronting all of those things. And many, many times, like I wanted to bail. Like after the first day, I was just like, yeah, I'm not going back tomorrow. I crafted so many texts to yourself and then
Yes.
also to Tamaya, and then some of which I just wouldn't send. I'll just be like, oh, don't be silly, delete, delete, delete. And then I just, thanks to your encouragement as well as Tamaya, I showed up every day. And by the time we got to the third and fourth day, it was actually okay. I think my structure had expanded as well. So I was more used to that energy, that light that doesn't allow you to hide anything, really. Not even from yourself. Because the biggest lies are the ones we tell ourselves, right? And the energy at healers, it doesn't really allow that. And it's good. Even though I wasn't comfortable doing it, after that it was great. And a lot of things did start to shift. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's very worthwhile, it's very enriching, and it's very rewarding. And at the end of the day, right, we have to face ourselves. And I think the sooner we get started, the better. So that
Yeah,
was
I
it.
think I think that's a really important point that you bring up, and I'm glad that we're having this discussion because Healers Academy, yes, we learn how to do the life activation for others. Yeah, we learn these other modalities, and we learn how to run max med and aura healing, but it's the healing that takes place within us that is the real magic. That's
Yeah.
the real magic. And you described it beautifully. It's just so much light that we get the opportunity to see it, and then if we see it, then we can actually do something about it. And the beautiful thing about Healers Academy is we don't have to do too much from that point, because the temple energy, it really takes care of that.
Yeah.
But you're so brave, and so and such a warrior, because you sat, you saw it through and said, no, this, I want to change. I don't want this to define me anymore. And I think that's a really special key that you've shared with people. Thank you.
It was for me also the realization that while I want to serve, I can't really serve until I've looked at myself, because otherwise the service is not pure. And so, while of course I'm still continuing to grow, I'm still shedding, I'm still learning, at least I'm a lot more self-aware. And I think that light from healers really created that spark, that made me realize that everything really comes from the self. Not in a selfish way, but in a service oriented way. It's from the self. And when I truly began to embody that, things really started to shift. So,
And
yes, it's very worthwhile, even though wasn't the easiest walk in the park for me personally. For some people, maybe it's fantastic. I don't
yeah,
know.
and this is why I'm doing these interviews, because I want to know what everybody, because everybody experiences it differently. So it's important that we all, that we can document it. It's fascinating. We only have a few minutes left, but I wonder, what's the biggest shift that you've noticed about yourself since Healers, or anything that you're willing to share?
For me, I think the biggest thing was the empowerment and that realization that whatever I wanted, truly wanted, in alignment with my purpose, I can have. I can create it. I don't have to wait, for something to happen. I can make it happen. I'm not saying that I just sit there and do nothing and wish it into reality. Of course not. I still have to work for it. But I had a much it was just very empowering, that realization that I am able to create whatever I want in my life. I can think about it, I can plan, I can take the action, and boom, it's here. And that for me was the biggest shift. That realization that I can do it.
Amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your,
Thank
your personal direct experience. I know, thank you, because it was a real, genuine, authentic insight. So thank you for that. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more on, the other classes. Sure, we're going to get you back on and to share. So thank you so much, Grace.
thank you for your time. Thank you so much, Davina Kate.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you all soon.